WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper, your host. Your stream on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com's Facebook and WTIM TV YouTube, brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville. You'll always do better with Landmark. And People's Bank and Trust. They put people first. You'll find the streams online on the TaylorvilleDailyNews.com Facebook or on YouTube at WTIM TV. I have the Pana Community Hospital Business Development Director, Carol Chandler, on the phone. Great to have you here, Carol.
Good morning.
So you are here to talk a little bit about PCH transport. Tell me a little bit about how that all came to be.
Well, actually, there's quite a history, and there's so many people that were involved and have been really instrumental with our program. It actually, the hospital, it's been at least 30 plus years ago that there was an effort to start a group called Faith in Action, which is actually a nationwide organization. And the kind of the thrust with Faith in Action is it's all facilitated by volunteers. Of course, there was a director, and then she directed all the volunteers that were involved. And Faith in Action actually had a menu of services that they would provide for people in the community. And it was everything from light housekeeping, like yard work, help with grocery shopping, and a myriad of other things. But the main component that everybody really utilized was the transportation. And at that time, the volunteers would use their vehicles and um, transport anyone really that called that that were we could effectively schedule. Of course, with volunteers, it was up to their time frame of when and what days exactly they could transport. So that was a little bit of a challenge, but we had some wonderful volunteers that went way out of their way to help people effectively get to their appointments, whether it was down here or outlying appointments to, Springfield, Decatur, etc. So as that program progressed, along through the years, and of course there was a board, Faith and Action Board. Um, it was, there started to be some issues because the volunteers that were driving, that were providing that service, they themselves were getting older and they had other, um, obligations for themselves, their
Mhm.
spouse, a variety of things. So, I was trying to think this morning, I think it's been at least 6 years, possibly seven, that the board through a lot of discussion, said we need to keep that transport piece, but ultimately we need to hire drivers. So at that time, I absorbed the that program, which then became PCH Transport. Um, so we currently have three men that are retired, and they work part time as our drivers, and that gave us the ability to really schedule people as needed. So with that said, we've and through the Ruby June Munson Meyer estate, she left money for Faith in Action, which then that transitioned, of course, with the PCH transport, and we were able to buy a new passenger van and a new wheelchair van, which people have seen those out in the communities. It says in memory of Ruby June Meyer on the back of the van. So through her generosity, and also, of course, the hospital's always supported the program and really give it the undergirding that it needs for it to be successful. And we transport people. It is specific to our patients. So if you have a primary doctor with us or use our specialist or need to come down to get labs or go to our DME and get some equipment or what have you, that's who we transport. So that was a little bit more customized to our patients rather than just, arbitrarily anyone.
Real quick here before we continue, just to summarize, used to be a volunteer service that you have. Now it sounds like you have a couple of part-timers that help you
Correct.
with the transportation service.
Correct.
Do you
Right.
still look for volunteers?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we are definitely looking for volunteers because we utilize our volunteers in other areas with escorting, helping patients find their way to wherever they need to go within the hospital. We also are needing volunteers for our homebound delivery meals, and then we have volunteers that volunteer on our surgery suite. Now those excuse me, those volunteers they're all retired nurses, so that works really well for that sector. But yeah, we're definitely seeking volunteers as well.
All right. And you alluded to it about who utilizes the transport service, patients, those who need to. Anybody else that we should consider that could end up using the transportation service for PCH?
Well, we do have folks that just need a ride home from our emergency room. So that happens frequently. Or maybe they came here by ambulance and then it's appropriate, they can actually ride in a van, so we would take them back home. So last year, and this is kind of a soft number, but we transported over 700. We made over 700 transportations last year. And the reason I'm saying that's a little bit of a soft number is because we do some that aren't scheduled, like taking people home from the ED and second floor or for other reasons.
That's at least 2 a day.
Yeah, and it's something like, I know Thursday we've got 5 transports. So again, that's a little bit of a soft number, but it's such a tremendous service because we are the only hospital in our market area that offers complimentary transportation. So, and if you speak to anybody in healthcare, they'll say transportation is such a barrier.
I think you just covered it for me. I almost asked about the cost, but sounds like it's free.
It is. It's complimentary. We do greatly appreciate donations, and the donations really help us to keep our transportation service viable because it is costly, and of course the hospital again is the undergirding. They of course support it because our drivers are employees, and because the value of this program is so important, because then it gets our patients to where they need to go. Otherwise, we're taking them not not only down here to our own campus, but we're taking them to Springfield, Decatur, Taylorville, Shelbyville, Effingham, Vandalia, Hillsboro, wherever they need to go. So and we don't just do medical appointments. We also try to get them to their dental, eye, pick up medications, anything that would kind of be within their care plan, if you will. Now, our within our guidelines, which we do have some, I don't want to say stringent, but they are pretty stringent guidelines, because we really have to keep it more customized according to the patients that we can actually effectively transport. 18 or older. And again, we have our wheelchair van, which is used almost every day for our wheelchair patients. And then we have our passenger van. And then we actually have a third passenger van that we're utilizing as well. So,
have you had a chance to interact with any of the patients who've utilized the transport service? And if so, what have they said?
Oh, they are so thankful, and that's where the donations come in. They just say will say, I don't know what I would do if we didn't have this service. So again, we're filling a need that is tremendous. And again, if you speak to anyone in the healthcare arena, they will tell you transportation is the biggest barrier.
I want to get a little bit more into how someone can access the PCH transport, but first,
Hmm.
running into a quick timeout. So,
Okay.
Business Development Director Carol Chandler on the phone talking about Pana Community Hospital's transport service here on WTIM, your information station.
WTIM. Your information station, WTIM.
Welcome back to the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper. Your stream brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark. People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first. You know, sometimes you might find yourself in a situation where you're at a hospital and you don't have a ride, or maybe you need a ride to the hospital and you just don't have anyone to take you. And that's what the Pana Community Hospital Transport System is here for. And I'm Business Development Director Carol Chandler here to talk about it. And Carol, thank you so much for being here. If you would just provide a quick overview, just to remind everyone what the PCH Transport Service is.
Sure, thank you. PCH Transport Service is a service that we offer through Pana Community Hospital. We transport our patients to down here to our campus, and then we also transport them to outlying appointments they may have in Springfield, Decatur, Taylorville, Shelbyville, Vandalia, Effingham, Hillsboro, just about anywhere that they may need to go. The service is specific for our patients. If your primary is here with us, or if you're utilizing our specialist or coming down, you need to get a mammogram, lab, etc. We provide the service. It is complimentary. to our patients, but we do greatly appreciate all donations. So,
All right. What are the hours of operation?
we're pretty much 8 to 4, but our drivers, if somebody needs to be picked up earlier, for example, if they need to be picked up at 7:30 because they have an appointment in Springfield at 8:30 or 9, we'll make that happen. There are occasions where they've had to transport after 4 p.m. And we just try to keep the hours pretty conducive to that, but we do go outside that on some occasions.
8 a.m. to 4 p.m. with some exceptions.
Yeah.
Well, how can someone get a hold of PCH Transport if they need it?
Yes. My direct number is 217-562-6383. Again, it's Carol Chandler. That's how I can be reached. You can also, you're more than welcome to come to the hospital if you want to speak to me directly. And we'll try, everything we can to get you to our mantra is to get you there to your appointment on a timely and safe basis. So we do have the wheelchair van and 2 passenger vans, and our 3 drivers are excellent. And we'll do anything we can to help people keep some their appointments uniform and in compliance with what they need.
Looking around, I noticed one of the other services that the Pana Community Hospital offers, the Homebound Meals program. How long have you had the Homebound Meals program?
That has been in place for a long time here with Pana Community Hospital, and it's such a fantastic service again. And I did want to mention that because that is a service that is ran by our volunteers. Now we do have some staff members that will jump in and help deliver as well, but it's getting a hot meal to those folks in our community as frequently as they want it. We do deliver 7 days a week. Some people just want it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, for example, but they're going to get a nutritious meal, which is overseen by our dietitian. And they also get a separate bag, which would be some items for their supper, which might be like a soup and sandwich. It's $4, and it's probably the best deal in town, and it gets delivered directly to the individual. Now, the way to kickstart that is it does have to come through their doctor. So the doctor would just make that recommendation. That individual needs meal, maybe long term, or maybe just for a short period of time. Maybe they've had surgery or something, and it's delivered to their house.
Certainly, someone could ask their doctor if they're eligible.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep. Right. And we're still practicing the same practice with the homebound meals as we did during COVID. We have it in an insulated bag, and we hang it on their door or, within their back door area or wherever they want it. So it's a really good method for people to continue to get those nutritious meals they need. And if they're interested, they could certainly call the number I just gave, or if they want to talk to our dietary directly, they can call PCH and just ask for the dietary department.
Excellent. Well, running up against the clock here, Carol, anything else that you would like to add, maybe reiterate about either the Homebound Meals program or the PCH Transport program?
I just want to let people know that we're here for them, and they can call me anytime, and we'll try to, even if it's not for transportation or homebound, we'll try to get you to the right department that you need. But we're here to serve our patients and their families, and I just want to thank you for allowing us to talk about our services today.
Well, thank you. That's Business Development Director of Pana Community Hospital, Carol Chandler. Thank you, Carol.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
WTIM.